Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the Status Forecast Weather Channel. In today's video we're going to be going over the northeast storm that's going to be impacting them tonight, tomorrow, and probably today and tomorrow. This will be mostly over by tomorrow morning. So we're going to be talking about this. It's not even really a storm, it's more of a clipper system, but it could drop a few inches of snow, maybe some local higher amounts closer to 10 inches in some spots. We're going to be talking about the feature. We're going to be talking about the radar and satellite currently. Then we're going to go over to watches, warnings, and advisories. Then we're going to go over to feature radar, and we'll talk about your rainfall snow totals and snowfall totals, along with maybe a potential Christmas storm if the timing matches up right and if we can get energy in the right place in the right time. So, currently we're just talking about some widespread snow and rain showers. Some of these snow could be falling locally heavy near Binghamton, New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, some areas getting into New Hampshire, some in Montreal, Canada, Bengal getting on some of that rain, maybe some places like Edinburgh, Maine getting in some heavier rain. Now some of these detached from the actual system, or either way, might be not even falling out of the sky right now, because usually what happens with these northeast storms, what we've seen in the past, is there's not enough moisture in the air to actually support that snow and rain actually come into the ground. So some of this may not even be actually falling, especially in some of these higher terrains where we're just dealing with like these. This doesn't even look like it might be falling, but some of those heavier spots in these darker greens, these darker blues, and even these gray, we could be talking about maybe some snow flurries or snow showers and some rain showers going on, maybe some steadier rain or snow going on. But as we go on down to New York, this is definitely going to be falling. So we've got widespread snow, and some of these temperatures are just hovering near the 30-degree mark. In some places near closer to the Canada border, we could be talking about some temperatures in the 20s and 30s, but most of these temperatures down here are like 30s to near 40, so it's really having a hard time just getting that snow to accumulate, because the temperatures are just not good enough to really support just that snow accumulation. But as we've seen through the last couple of hours, it's just been working its way out of Buffalo and then slowly making its way. Some of this snow's been this rain's been turning over to snow, but as you can see, it's been having a hard time and struggling just to get that snow and rain falling and appear on the radar. But over the last couple of hours, so we've seen some snow and rain moving through this clipper system. It's going to continue to do so. We can also take a look at the satellite as well. Alright, so here's the satellite. Now, this does not even look like a nor'easter because it's basically not a nor'easter. But obviously you can see in some of these bigger swells of clouds and some of these thicker clouds, that's indication that we could be seeing some heavier precipitation. But yeah, all right, there's that. Now we're going to get into the current watches and warnings and advisories. Alright, so here's the watches, warnings, and advisories. Now notice there's nothing actually out there, and I'm not sure why. There should be at least a winter weather advisory, if not a snowstorm warning for much of the Northeast right now. I don't know what the National Weather Service is actually doing with this right now, but I would expect at least a I would expect at least a winter weather advisory, or at least a winter storm warning or something out of this. Maybe even some flood watches for some of those heavier amounts of rain, but there's nothing really going on right now. But yeah, there's that. Now we can get into the feature radar. Alright, so here's the feature radar. So we're going to take a look at the GFS model first, since it's been pretty persistent. Obviously you can see in the Northeast, we're talking about some snow and rain going on associated with this system. We have some rain offshore the Southeast coast right now. Some snow working its way into Canada. This is why they have a winter storm warning for much of this area in the upper plains near the Great Lakes region, because the storm's going to be moving through. So yeah, as we continue on through here, so yeah, that system's going to move through. It's going to have a really hard time fighting that snow and rain line, because the temperatures are just hovering around that 32-degree mark, and it's going to be pretty warm to get that snow to actually accumulate near the coastline. So there goes that. There comes the second. That one kind of just fizzles out, doesn't really do anything. But then we're going to watch this closely. We've seen this before. two systems come together, but the problem is we get a big dipping trough down here in the northeast in the Ohio Valley with cold air, and we've seen this before. A low pressure system transfers energy to another low pressure system that either rides up the coastline and hits the northeast in New England with a major snowstorm, or sometimes it will completely just miss us. As of now, it looks like it's going to miss us, but I would still watch for the potential for a snowstorm to see if these two will actually if this trough will maybe move a little bit farther to the west, and this low pressure system will maybe hug closer to the coastline and maybe give us a better shot of a snowstorm. We'll have to see what happens. But you see that storm basically goes offshore, but as you can see, it really blows up. Some of these, you can see some of these purples and whites. That's indication of very heavy snow falling right there. And then as we move on, you can actually see right there, you get some white in there. That's indication of very heavy snow. But we've seen this before. Two systems, one system gives its energy to another system, but then it stops after that and things go quiet for a little while. But obviously we've got a digging trough still in the East Coast and up into the Great Plains, Upper Plains, and Ohio Valley and northeast in New England. We've got a big, strong upper level high pressure that's just creating cold conditions for much of the East Coast. And then we've got warm air with maybe some snow in the higher terrains associated with another low pressure system up in the Rockies, Rocky Mountains, Colorado, Nebraska, places like that. Maybe Idaho and Colorado, places like that. But it's basically a split scenario. We've got warm air in the west, we've got cold air in the east. It's basically a split scenario. So as we continue on, and then we have to watch the system coming out of the upper plains. Depending on if we can get enough energy in the system to actually blow up an actual snowstorm, there's a good potential we could actually see a snowstorm in the northeast, but it doesn't look likely right now. This is on Monday. So as we continue through, as you can see, that kind of just fizzles out and falls apart. Maybe some snow, very light snow in the northeast and New England area, but this is mostly for areas of west of the main area. Like areas like New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. Then this thing kind of just quiets out. We get a few weaker low pressure systems, and maybe another bomb cyclone in the Pacific Northwest, creating another atmospheric river with some heavier rain and snow in the upper terrains. But there's that. Now we're going to take a look at the European model. So it has much of the same scenario. I don't know why this low pressure system is all the way over here. It's clearly all the way over here, but as you can see, it has mixed precipitation right along the coastline, but really what I've been seeing is mixed line extending all the way up towards Bangor and just rain along the coastline, even up into Augusta and Bangor as well with that rain. But the European model has more of a colder precipitation type with just mixed precipitation. But either way, you're not going to get much snow along the coastline. If anything, maybe a coating to an inch. So that system goes through. Then again, we have to watch the system off the coast. We get another low pressure system transferring its energy to another low pressure system off the shoreline. We've seen this before, and it creates a whole other snowstorm for us. This one doesn't look like it's going to hit us, but obviously it's still a few days out, and things could definitely change. There goes that system. That gets out of here again. Split scenario: warm air in the west, cold air in the east. Pretty typical winter pattern here. And then that same low pressure system that we're going to be watching for in the upper plains and going into the Great Lakes region in Wisconsin and Michigan and parts of the upper plains. We're going to have to watch the system to see if it'll make a return and maybe give us another opportunity for a snowstorm. But that fizzles out, another low pressure system, and it's basically the same story. We've got another low pressure system. Maybe this gets a little light snow. This could be maybe a different scenario. Obviously, this is going into the end of this month into early next month, and things look quiet. So we're going to take a look at those snow totals. We'll take a look at those rain totals first, though. So here's the European model. So we'll just go all the way through. So yeah, some of this is not going to actually going to be falling as rain. Some of this is going to be falling as snow, but obviously you can see from that potential bomb cyclone, lots of rain in the Pacific Northwest, kind of quiet in the upper plains or the mid and upper plains. Northeast, Southeast, and Upper Plains and Ohio Valley all getting on some beneficial rain. Not that we need it. Well, we kind of do need it because we're in a drought right now. But the GFS model, let's see what it says here. So yeah, like I said, some of this is going to be falling as snow. So again, big story is the Northeast right now. So much needed rainfall for much of the Northeast, Ohio Valley, New England, Southeast. Kind of quiet in the southwestern states right, because, well, it's typically that way in those deserts. Don't get much in the way of precipitation. Some in the Great Lakes region, Pacific Northwest, we're getting on some of that rain. But yeah, there's that. We're going to take a look at the snowfall next. So this is going to be a close, I wouldn't say it's accurate, but it's going to be close to accurate snow. This will basically tell us really how much snow, what's going to accumulate actually, and what's going to not accumulate. So we'll see how this goes with the GFS model. So yeah, obviously it's a bit, this is pretty typical for this time of year. Western America, you're talking lots of snowfall, and then some of those northeast storms, some of those clipper systems, and some of those other clipper systems are going to be dropping a decent amount of snow, maybe some closer to 40 inches or 30 inches in, again, the Pennsylvania area, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont, getting on some of that higher snow totals, and into Maine as well. But obviously, you can see right along the coastline of Maine, you're gonna get barely an inch or two. So with the European model, I would have to do something to get this right, but it's not going to be this. It won't let me do the actual, close to accurate snowfall, what accumulates and doesn't, but we'll go with this anyways. So yeah, much of that snow falling in the Pacific Northwest out of atmospheric rivers, obviously. And then there's going to be another clipper system that comes through the Canada area and then kind of slides southeast. That's going to give us some snowfall totals. There's already some winter storm warnings up for parts of the upper plains. For that low pressure system coming through, that's going to drop a few inches to several inches. Northeast and New England, much of that snow is going to be falling in Vermont and New York, and some of that snow will be falling in the Maine area as well. But yeah, there's that. We're going to take a look at the temperatures now, because the temperatures are going to flip-flop. Alright, so we'll go with the European model first, and then we'll go with the GFS model. But again, I just want to go a little bit out, so where it gets in that split scenario. This is interesting. So we don't typically see this. Warm air, central United States. Cold air, upper plains into the Pacific Northwest. Warm temperatures in the southeast, and then cold temperatures in the main New England, northeast and New England area. And then it basically stays that way. So it's basically we could get an Arctic blast maybe on Sunday for parts of the Great Lakes region, Ohio Valley, northeast and New England, with maybe some temperatures only, even down to the coastline, only getting into this lower teens. That's pretty crazy. GFS model, I'm assuming it's going to do much of the same thing. So yeah. Basically a temperature roller coaster, as you can see, but there's that. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to look at. So yeah, that's that. That's the forecast for today anyways. That's what we're going to be looking at for today in the next couple of weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to never miss an upload. And without further ado, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.